Good evening and welcome to the legendary Gold Coast Hotel and Casino and National Finals Tonight. Brought to you in part by Jack Daniels, Coors, Pendleton Whiskey, Boot Barn, Cooper Tires, Ram Rodeo, Justin Boots, the American Paint Horse Association, Preefert, Classic Leather Designs, Crucian Rum, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, J.W. Brooks Hats, Wrangler, Montana Silversmiths, Seagram's Gin, and Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time world champion bull rider Donnie Gay, 8-time world champion cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Wow, what a crowd. Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here for National Finals tonight, and what a good-looking crowd this is. And are you here on a great night? We have so much back there from Hollywood to Texas. We have the bases covered this evening. Did you enjoy the rodeo tonight? Outstanding. It's getting exciting, isn't it? This is our 5th season here for National Finals tonight, and actually this is our 43rd show that we have done of this installment, and people from all over the world have been out here to share the evening with us. Let's get this thing started because we have a lot to do. Some very special guests with us here this evening. We can't do it without introducing our star. The star of that just has a ring to it, doesn't it? The star of our show, and I say that because he asked me to say that. Would you welcome 8-time world champion bull rider, the best ever, Donnie Gay is in the house.
All right.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to get it.
I got her now.
Okay. All right. Y'all ready to have a little fun?
Doesn't he look good, huh? You know, I told him this is a good night, isn't it? It's an exciting night.
Yes.
It's lots of great people back there. And do you want to talk? Well, let's wait a minute to talk about our friend Bobby. Let's just move on and let's do that. Let's bring out our other co-hosts. And gentlemen, again, our key lights are out up here, but we're going to move along and bring out our other co-host who is back there just talking rodeo. I know it's hard to imagine, but he's back there. He never quits. 8-time world champion as well, and I'm proud to call him a friend. Mr. Joe Beaver is here tonight. Joseph. Yeah.
Knocking out diabetes t-shirts.
Giving away stuff already. Joe Beaver.
That's the only free thing you're going to get tonight except Donnie's advice.
Whether you want it or not.
Joe, because these shirts are blue and these folks weren't here last night, tell them.
Diabetes. About 10 years ago, we started a little thing called Tough Enough to Wear Pink. Same way, selling t-shirts.
Well, wait a minute. Joe Beaver started that.
Yeah. I started it. They picked it up and run with it, which is great. But I did. My grandmother had breast cancer. It was kind of, my agent said, pick something. Let's give something back. We always ask, take. Every now and then you got to give a little bit back. So we started a breast cancer deal. Now it's huge. We picked diabetes this year. Bold enough to wear blue. We're t-shirts starting it the same way, and I hope in 10 years it's $1 million a year deal too.
Awesome. Joe Beaver right there. Yep. We do want to tell you tonight that we are going out live on the World Wide Web. If you would like to call somebody and tell them to tune us in, here's the address to go to. It is boydgaming.com/NFT, and you can see this live. It's streaming all over the world even as we speak. The other thing that's interesting, if you have a question tonight out here, or if somebody is watching out there on the web and you have a question, you can text those questions to us, whether it's Don or Joe or any of our guests that are coming out. We'll get those. And here is the phone number if you want to text us. It is 702-LUCK-NFT, 702-582-5638.
Very good.
Very good.
5638. You don't have to look at L.
Don't worry about that. Luck NFT, 702-582-5638. You can send questions up our way. How many were actually at the rodeo this evening? Very many of you were there? You know what's great about it is now 45 properties across this great city of Las Vegas all carry the, and when I get in here early at 5:30 or 6, there's already people sitting here watching the big screens and watching this rodeo, maybe one of the best NFRs ever. In case you missed out on anything, in case you weren't able to watch it live on GAC, and our hats are off to Great American Country GAC, every round is live on television. And also, Donnie, I talked today with them, and the ratings are
and every run, every ride, every run, live. People aren't staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning unless they want to. It's great.
Well, and it's brought to you by Seminole Hard Rock, and you know, we've got a friend of mine over here, Amos Tigers.
Oh, there's Amos right over there.
Tigers in
Shine
the house.
a light on Amos.
Tigers in the house.
Yeah, Amos is in the house, and he's a good friend of mine and Cowboy down in Florida. And the Seminole tribe have been a big part of all of the television production.
The part,
yep. Furnishing the money, and it takes a lot of it to produce it, put it on television, and get it shown like it needs to be, and we certainly appreciate that.
Absolutely. In case you missed out watching on television tonight, these two gentlemen doing it live. Matter of fact, Joe got the media award this year from the PRCA for his contribution in media and television. They're the best in the business. Donnie and I have been doing it together 26 years or so, and it's just, they are the best. But we put a highlight package together for you in case you didn't see it on television. Here are your winners coming to you live. Donnie and Joe doing it for you. Donnie?
All right, well, they crank it off with a bareback riding, and Casey Fields is, we're 3 for 3, and this guy is just riding like a house afire. He's got Magic Wars and this horse bucking coming around. This is the eliminator pin. These are the ones that you're not supposed to be able to ride, like Casey Fields just put it on. Look at Gramps up there. I mean, he's spurring with every jump up there, about bucking himself out of the box seat. Casey is riding so good, but you know what? The timing, the effort, but he's got a great pedigree. His daddy Louie did the same thing years ago. Don't buck off of that chair. All right, but we're looking good. Another go-round.
And steer wrestling, horse change tonight. You never know how things are going to work out. Sean Greenfield goes and gets his horse out of the stall tonight. Horse can't hardly walk. Don't know what happened. Something wrong with the left front. Jumps on Todd Soon's gray horse, ridden him before. This horse can fly. I've said it before, but watch the hazer. See Todd Soon give him that little left right there? Left in the face makes that steer step towards him. When he changed horses, he also changed hazers.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can do that. That's legal.
You can touch them?
All up in their face. All up in their face. Team roping tonight. 4-1 has been the magic number every night. This guy, I rope with this guy, so you know nothing scares him here. Brad Culpepper, if you give him looks like that every night, you're going to take a victory lap every night that you do. Caleb Grugers does a good job of getting on him real fast, but watch. The difference is tonight, he doesn't have so much rope out. Brad Culpepper, when he ropes him, that paint horse is going backwards. That helps you get a fast flag from the flagman. Your horse face is clean. That lets you be a lot faster than a guy that drags it on too slow. Takes too long. Now, here, last team, Turtle Pal Jet Johnson. Jet Johnson, he's not heeling. He's heading those feet. You don't heel like that, and I know he's from Wyoming, so that makes it better. But watch, Turtle Pal, he has Horse of the Year 2 times. He's crippled, he's sick, he may never come back again. He has to borrow a head horse right before the national finals. He's kind of down on things. Guess what? You win go-rounds, you don't care what you ride.
That's outstanding. And talking about outstanding, this ride here is as good a saddle bronc ride as you want to see. Watch the spur in action of Jesse Wright. Now, we've talked about the Etbauer brothers for years. Let's talk about the Wright brothers. I'm going to tell you what, this is an outstanding bronc ride. I want you to watch in slow motion how he handles his bronc rein. This horse, I mean, he got big, long, just throws his head up. Now he goes all the way down with it. Leg extension, setting his feet. Look at that. I mean, I'm talking picture perfect. You could mark that right foot 25 if you wanted to.
That was just an awesome ride. And the brothers are coming. Tie down roping, here's my boy, Corey Solomon. This is a 21-year-old kid from Prairie View A&M.
Been at your house for the last month.
Been at my house last week. Called me on the phone one day, said, Joe B, I need some help. And I said, come on. It took us about one afternoon. That boy run 48 head in a row at my house and never loosened his belt, never got off his horse, never complained. We worked on 2 or 3 things I wanted to see him change. And tonight, he's getting the go-around buckle. That's a good a kid as you ever want to be around. Tons of talent, a lot to look forward to in the years to come. Corey Solomon.
Boy, he did a great job.
He did. In the barrel race, Jane Melby, Minnesota. Minnesota.
Yeah.
Huh? You know, anybody know that? Look, you know why she's one of my favorites? She got a little girl, a little blonde-headed girl, and a little boy. that are the ropingest two-toots you ever seen in your life. They come to a clinic of mine, and I tried to buy their horse. I want him for me. Mom wouldn't let it happen.
All right, well, in the bull riding, I picked Jacob Omar tonight just simply because I thought he had one of the best bulls. This bull was the #2 bucking bull of the year this year, both ways, around to the right, back around to the left. Omar is one of those guys. He actually, you know, we talk about the young guys here. He's the youngest guy at the NFR in the bull riding. He's 20 years old, and so is Chandler Bounds. But I think Chandler's got him by just a couple of months. But I tell you what, you watch him ride, bull going away from his hand, got a unique way he handles his free hand, but he does it all, but it's a little bit different. But you know what? It works, and check that out. You can't replace that feeling. It didn't matter if it paid $17,000 or $17. That right there was a great bull ride.
And you know what's cool about tonight? You just mentioned 20 years old, Corey Solomon, 20 years old. You know,
you're seeing it.
We can only do this so long, and I say then it's time for Cody Old, and then it's time for J.W. Harris. And if you don't have the young group coming up, you won't have a good group later. So hats off to our young guys tonight.
How about it, Donnie and Joe doing it for you live there this evening. I want to tell you, last night one of our guests here was Dusty Tuckness, and just outstanding.
Where's he from?
Wyoming. Yeah, Dusty Tuckness was here.
Oh, just so y'all know, we're going to have a Texas night here pretty soon.
That's right.
Maybe next year. Though Dusty lives about 30 miles from me there. He lives in Meeteetse, Wyoming. And he was here last night, a great guest, great young man, but he had a couple of things tonight, Donnie. His poor right leg. I do want to tell you, I told Donnie, I just texted him and said, "Are you okay?" He texted me back, he said, "I'm fine, I love my life." So this is a couple of close calls that he had, Donnie, if you'll talk about it in the bull riding.
Well, in the bull riding, I don't know which one's going to come up first. Probably Wesley Silcox. He gets bucked off. But watch what happens to Dusty whenever he comes around here. Wesley's stunned a little bit. There comes Dusty right there. He's got to get over there. He's trying to get in front. Boom! Watch it. He doesn't even fall down. Look, I want you to look at the ability. He gets his snot knocked out. Bergeron tries the bull. The bull just wheels around. He feels Dusty and going to get Wesley. Boom! Dusty offers himself up. Wesley don't get hit. Now, he don't quit. He lands on his feet. Here comes Bergeron. You'll see Diefenbach come in. These three guys have been doing it so good. So you saw him get whacked. Now watch this. Shane Proctor goes down in the well. Here comes Dusty again. He's limping. Boom. I want you to look right here where on that same right leg that he just got nailed on 2 bulls earlier. And he don't leave the arena. He don't go to the medical room. He comes back, and that bull hits him in the leg. Whenever I was waiting on the re-ride, I said, "You okay?" And he goes, didn't even leave a mark.
Hey, and they were working on that right leg before the rodeo in the Justin Healer room when I walked by there, and I asked him, I said, "You sore?" "No, I'm fine." He going to be sore after that.
Oh.
Donnie, let's get into this quickly before we get our first guest out, because I've had people ask me already, have Donnie say something about Bobby. Bobby Welsh couldn't get out on 2, and just your comments was?
Well, he's too damn slow.
All right.
I mean, there's really not a whole lot more. I mean, he gets extra ready and all that, but you know, he has trouble making himself nod. I mean, you have to control your emotions. What that really means is when you're scared, you have to be able to deal with it. And if you ain't scared riding bulls, then you're either really stupid, or you're elevated, or you're not in the bull riding.
That's right.
And so you have to control all that. But if you sit in the buck and shoot so long, your hand starts sweating in your glove. I mean, the advantage begins to swing to the bull. This guy is unique in the fact that he can sit there, and I'm thinking, man, this is embarrassing. He's taking so long. The first bull that he couldn't get out on, that was the bull's fault. The second one was Bobby's fault. And then the third one, you know, I thought I was going to have a birthday before he finally got down in the chute, and Bull standing there like he was, you know, Christmas present waiting to be unwrapped. And he was, and he made a good ride. So, you know, the guy's got all kinds of talent. To be able to make the whistle after you do that, because everybody in the arena, if you could have heard the chute bosses and the judges, I mean, I bet you they fined him at least $2,000 tonight. So, you know, I mean, they were being really, really ugly to him, and
but they're really trying to do him a favor.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to get him out. You know, he's got to get out.
I mean, I told him, I said, "Bobby, if you're trying to wait until it gets comfortable," I said, "my gosh, you're never going to not."
Hell, it ain't comfortable on the Walmart bull.
You know, but you're right about that.
Not for guys like me anyway.
I wouldn't have, you know, the comparison, but, you know, Bobby's got to speed it up or that kind of stuff tonight. He won't get away with that further down the road. The further this week goes, it'll cost him some, you know, a ride. I mean, here's a guy, I mean, he can win the average. I mean, you know, you could win, you know, $150,000 here, and he's got a whole carload of kids to feed and take care of, and he's done a great job for a long time riding bulls, but, you know, the bulls can't read your resume, and, you know, they don't care.
All right, I'm glad I asked, Donnie. Thanks for clearing that up.
You want to know anything else?
No. No.
I told you, this is free right here. Free advice.
Let's get on with our first guest here. And ladies, I hope you have your cameras ready out there. Donnie, turn around. No, for our first guest is why I hope you have your cameras ready this evening. This guy, you know him from the movies, you know him from television, but the more that I'm around this guy, I know him for the size of his heart. He's a good guy, and he made the effort to get over here tonight and to be with us and to be with people that we're going to talk about. If you've seen the movie 8 Seconds, Beverly Hills 90210, you know this man. Luke Perry's in the house tonight. Luke.
All right.
Joe B. How you doing, brother?
Oh!
Hey, everybody.
Bull rider.
Good to see you.
Dragon slayer.
That's
Yeah,
right. Now, I got to tell you, my hair's a little long, my face is a little furry. I'm doing a movie right now where I'm playing a dragon slayer. And they ain't as cool as Cowboys. They don't shave up, they don't cut their hair. But as soon as I get done with it, I'll be back to natural.
Looking good, isn't he, huh? Luke Perry is in the house tonight.
Thank y'all for having me. Hey, this is where Western Wishes happens. That's why I come here every year. Yeah.
That's
now,
right.
it has always been a great pleasure of mine to come and see athletes like Joe B. and Donnie perform. But now that I've been to the top of the mountain and I know some of the best bull riders in the world, the main thing for me here is coming for the Western Wishes. Yep. I love what these guys are doing. You know, I try to do, whenever I can, I try to help out and raise money for kids' charities and things like that. But I'm going to tell you, these guys got my attention. Donalyn Quintana is working her little butt off. She's running up and down the steps, that Thomas and Mack, making sure that everything's going to get done for these kids. And what I'm trying to do now is find a corporate sponsor that put some real money into this thing, somebody that'll appreciate that folks that live the Western life, they have as much compassion and they need as much compassion as anybody else. So there's somebody out there that can help us, and we're going to see that these kids get everything they need.
Yes.
And that's why we're here.
And she has been doing it for a long time.
She has been doing it for a long time.
She contacts all of us. Everybody gets involved with the kids. If there's a kid out there that needs something, you get a phone call from her. That's one of the few that you call back.
Caleb, you out there? I know
Let's talk about some of the folks here, Luke.
There, buddy.
Right there, we've got,
hey,
let's
buddy.
get a camera on them over there.
There you go. We're going to see you later up to Buck and Ball.
You know, to digress just a little, if you don't know about the movie 8 Seconds and everything, you've seen a lot of good rodeo movies and things way back in the day. Most of them had stunt doubles, not this guy. He's a cowboy. I mean, he rode his bulls. He got on probably 30 head of bulls while they were doing that movie and probably made the whistle quicker than anybody that had zero information to start with. And you know, this guy is a real cowboy.
You know what? I was lucky to have the privilege of you all accepting me into the family of professional rodeo. You know, I'm just an actor. I live in Ohio. I'm born in Ohio and I live in Los Angeles. But I'll tell you what, once you've been through Vegas, once you've been to Cheyenne, once you've been to some of these rodeos, it gets in your heart, it gets in your blood. I was lucky enough I had the opportunity, you know. And I feel sorry for the folks that don't have the opportunity. I tell actors all the time, they say, oh, I got to do this movie, I got to do that movie. I said, until you rode a bull, you ain't done nothing.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody can't do that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Hey, and he didn't stay in there near as long as Bobby Wells. He nodded his head.
On all 30 of them.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, tonight, watching that boy win that roping in the arena, watching your student, a guy who you said comes to your house, busts his butt, does everything he can to do it right, and you look out there in the dirt at the Thomas and Mack Center tonight, and that kid's winning, he's pointing up to the Lord, and he's saying thank you. Yep. That's what rodeo's about, man.
It is, and it's about those kind of people.
It is.
And that's what you're talking about.
That's
Most people miss out their whole life dealing with the kind of people we get to deal with every day.
That's right, and I've been fortunate enough in my life, I've met lots of professional athletes, you know, lots of guys that play football, baseball, basketball, you name it, I've met them. Ain't none of them got the heart of a professional cowboy. Okay, and it's something that I don't have any problems. I say it right to them. I tell them about it on the day. I'll go and I'll watch Shaq play in a basketball game. I'll say, that was great, but you didn't have to pay no entry fee, and you didn't have to drive to get here, and you didn't haul no horse. And I said, if you think about it, if you had all those hurdles to get over, you may not be doing the thing you do, but it's the rodeo cowboy that does it day in, day out. I know you guys get a lot of attention when you get here to Vegas, but just know a lot of us are watching at all them little rodeos. We care about them too. We know that you got to stack all those up to get here. And when you get here, it's a big stage and it's big bright lights and everybody gets to see it, but just know that we're watching year round, so you all keep after it. We love it. We just love it.
You know, the thing that's interesting to me, Luke, a lot of actors will go through their whole career and not have that one signature movie, and you are just blessed that 8 Seconds Forever
absolutely
will be
no, I'm blessed. I told somebody earlier, not just the opportunity to get to meet all the world champions I did, get to learn from them, get to travel to these events, meet you guys and talk, but when I look back over the almost 40 plus movies I've made, I'd swap all the rest of them in just to be in that one, and for me, that's a big deal.
Pretty darn cool.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you what, for the rodeo world, it was even a bigger deal to have somebody that really, honestly, you talk about Corey Solomon tonight, that's how you threw yourself into that.
Yep.
You didn't
that's why I got accepted.
You didn't represent us any way but right and good, and for that, the rodeo business is always thankful to you for that movie.
Oh, well, it goes both ways. And believe me, I still believe we're the best kept secret in the world of sports. It ain't going to be too much longer, though, because there's a lot of things out there happening in the world of bull riding and other rodeo events. The world's starting to pay attention. You all are going to start to get what you're due. And for me, I'm just proud to say I was here a long time ago. And thank you all for welcoming me in.
You know, a minute ago, Luke was talking about Donna Lynn Quintana, and since we're talking about bulldoggers, I'm telling you, if Donna Lynn gets after you and wants to get something done, I want to get a camera on her out here.
Oh, yeah.
Because, my word, you talk about a heart, and I told her today, I just, can we get is she back here, or is she back, where are you, Donna Lynn? Step out here once, Donna Lynn, please.
Oh, yeah, a little camera time for the lady that does all the work. Come here, honey. Yeah.
Because when she gets after you, you're had. Now, that's just all there is to it. Your phone rings. Oh, it's Donna Lynn. Oh, it's Donna Lynn. Yes, but tell us how you got started.
Do you have my phone number?
I could tell the funniest story with you.
Don't.
A lot of history up here right now.
Well, you know what? What did you just ask?
How did you get started with Donnie? No, with Western Wishes. How did that come about?
You know what? I just saw a void. I kept thinking, well, why isn't there a Western version of Make-A-Wish? And it just so happened that the year I had a trauma with, I thought I had cancer, and I remember thinking, oh man, if I just live through it, please, I promise I'll do what I said I was going to do. And so the minute I found out I didn't have cancer, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And so it was kind of like a promise to God, like when you make deals with God. And so we did our first wish, and it was magical. It was just wonderful. But I remembered a little kid, a boy that was a high school rodeo kid that had cancer. And it was just a passing thought because I was going through so much. And I remember thinking he was a roper, and that year I could have called D. Pickett, and he could have been his hero that year or something. And it was a passing thought, and then he died. And I felt so bad about that, so it really jumped me into gear. And it's the toughest job I've ever loved. And it's just, you can't believe the stories that are out there. It's just amazing. And I love all you the champions and the country singers that have brightened the lives of so many kids since '94. I can't tell you how thankful I am to the Western world. I mean.
Now, how can you ever turn her down? I'm telling you. What I want to do between Luke and Donna, can you just have the kids stand up that are with us tonight so you can let us know who's who? Let's get a light back there.
There he is.
Let's get a light back there.
That's a brave young man right there, Sam.
Tell us, Luke, you want to introduce him?
No, I'll let Donna Lynn.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Let's see. There's Sam. Okay. Wait a minute. There's Carter. Colton. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen him yet. Hi, Colton. You came from Minnesota? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Minnesota cowboy.
Wow. And Sam, stand up. Sam, are you standing?
Tell her you're standing up.
Oh, you're standing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Happens to Donnie
Yeah,
all the
I was
time.
going to say the same thing. No worries.
That's all right. I'll make you a great bull rider, 8-time world champ right here.
Sam, he's just been, last night he met Tuff, and I think he met Clyde and Elsie Frost last night and everything, and now he's going to meet Donnie and Joe and everybody. This is a dream come true. But what's amazing, he's had a really serious critical injury, and he just snapped back in such a, we always say our Western Wishes kids have such a fighting spirit, and they have like an edge over other kids. And he was a 3-time Wrangler Junior bull riding champion in Minnesota.
All right.
Yeah. What I'm talking about.
Okay, and then little Caleb, I mean, he is, oh boy, he is Tuff Hedemann's buddy. And he's got a rare blood disorder. And he is his dad's a calf roper, a team roper.
He needs to meet me.
Yes. What?
Yeah.
What?
That's what he...
I mean, if he's good friends with Tuff,
Yeah.
that,
Right. Anyway, these kids, and there's 6 others that are here. We're having a big meet and greet tomorrow with Luke and everybody.
Yep,
all
we're
those
gonna be
two-
there.
Yep. Over.
We're going to hang out. We'd like you all to come because
Yep.
there's just nobody that we don't want to see. If there's any of you kids out there that want to meet Tuff or me or anybody, you come on up. Hey, Sam, this is Joe B. He's got a little something for you.
Aw.
Yeah. There you go. That's one world champion cowboy to a future world champion cowboy right there. Because that's what it's about, isn't it?
It is.
Showing these kids that it can absolutely be better and it will be better, and people care about them. That's what they want to know.
Let's have a hand for this lady, Donna Lynn.
Yeah, Donna Lynn.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, dear.
She's the one that keeps it going. Thank you for keeping calling me, honey.
Thank you. And Luke, before you get away, we just want to, you talked briefly about the hair and the beard, so tell us what this film is that you're working on.
will you stop that?
Yeah, man. It's at that itchy stage, but yeah, I play a guy who's the greatest dragon slayer in the world, right up until the dragon gets me. And it's always like that.
How many pages are in the script?
70-some.
70-some. How far do you make it before you get bit off the...
About page 20. Yeah. So he used to be the greatest dragon
You get
slayer.
paid for the whole movie, and you're only to page 20?
That was the
what
deal.
a deal.
Yes, sir. It's like, you know, you get your paycheck if you only ride for 3-4 seconds, and you can't beat it. And I said, I'll take
Come
that.
on.
Because I can stay on for 3 or 4. But I've been chunking around in Utah in a big suit of armor and a big sword and all that stuff, and the long hair and the beard goes with it. As soon as I'm done with it, I'm going to get rid of this, get rid of the other thing, and I'll look like somebody you all might remember. But I appreciate my time here with you tonight. I want you kids to know that my heart's with you. I'm going to go over to the Buck and Ball. I'm going to see how many people I can get to donate to Western Wishes. I'm putting a lot of energy into trying to find a corporate sponsor because I know that, you know, nobody wants to always be asking folks to dig in their pocket. And we all know that we live in a country where these big corporations are making an awful lot of money off of our hard work. And I want to get them to turn some of that back around and put it into these kids and these medical programs that they need. And I got a lot of help. I got guys like Joe B, and they're going to help me, and we're going to talk to people. And I appreciate everything you guys have done and all the stuff I know you're going to do in the future. And having said that, I'm going to get
Luke
out of here.
Perry right there.
We're going to do it. Thanks for having me, sir. Always a pleasure. Y'all take it easy. I'll see you.
Outstanding. And I will tell you how quickly that came about because Donna Lynn called me yesterday. And she said, I've got these kids, and she said, I'm going to call Luke. I'm going to call Luke
Hey,
and
but
see.
you know what, really? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. If you can't get some good out of things and help some people, what are we doing?
You know, we got there's a lot of people in the house that we can't, you know, don't have a chance to recognize all of them. But I see one of my good friends here from Canada, from Innisfail, Alberta. How about a round of applause for Jack Danes, one of the staunchest rodeo men in the business right
One
there.
of the best rodeos in Canada,
That's
right
right.
there at the Danes Ranch, Innisfail, Alberta.
Sitting next to him is our rodeo announcer of the year. It's Wayne Brooks, and this guy right here is a good hand. And out there at the Cox Pavilion, he represents Boyd Gaming and a lot of pro rodeos.
Absolutely. It's a good night to be here, isn't it? And we're going to change gears literally here for our next guest to come out here. We always talk about the world of the Western world and rodeo. We're going to switch to NASCAR right now because I think we're all in the same demographic family. And this gentleman that's going to come out here, if you watch NASCAR, if you watch Fox Sports, and you watch Darrell Waltrip on there, you see this gentleman on there every single week. He's on the Speed Channel every week as well. But more importantly, He loves rodeo. He's been coming to the National Finals Rodeo since 1989 and has never missed a year, and we're glad to have him with us. Would you welcome Jeff Hammond from Fox Sports right here. Jeff? Welcome, sir. Good to see you.
My bowling partner.
Bowling partner. Hey, Jeff. Good to be here. Good to be here. I'm going to go ahead and say this right on the get-go. Luke Perry is a tough act to follow.
Oh,
I mean, in a lot of ways. Not only do the ladies love him, but the man, the kids love him. He's got his act together.
Well, yeah, we're glad that you're here as well.
I'm excited about being here.
You know what I'm thinking about while he was talking? He's looking for big money and corporate sponsors. Who's got more money than NASCAR, huh?
You know, it's funny you said that, but all of a sudden I've got some really good connections with people that I happen to be associated with. And I'm thinking, man, the White Ball Brands, which is Kimberly Clark, it'd be great for them because, again, you know, they like doing things with kids. Even Irwin Tools, they're one of my sponsors back in NASCAR. And I need to talk to him more and get a number so that maybe we can move some of that money here because they're always good about taking care of kids. I mean,
Trust me, if Donna Lynn heard that, you will get a chance to talk to him.
That bulldog in that commercial biting you on the ass and hanging on.
Yeah.
That's Donna Lynn.
Okay, I kind of got that feeling, but I'm glad there's somebody like that because, again, what she was saying about the kids. I mean, what's the greatest gift you can give? You can give it to a kid. Give them a chance to have what we've had, to live a full life and to have it mean something. Man, I mean, that's what touches you. I mean, that's why I say he's a tough act to follow.
Well, listen, we're talking about champions here, and Jeff in his own right is a champion. He's being humble here because in the world of NASCAR, this guy started out changing tires, and then went from tires to being the guy doing the jack man.
I mean, like during the race?
During the race, and from there, Darrell Waltrip, it's a great story. He became a crew chief. He was a crew chief for 43 Cup victories. He and Darrell Waltrip, how many championships?
I've been with Darrell for all three. I was two of them, crew chief for two of them, as well as a 1989 Daytona 500 win.
So he has been the crew chief for Darrell Waltrip, worked with Terry Labonte. So in the world of NASCAR, this guy's a champion in his own right.
And you can still hear?
Huh? What'd you say? Joe, I will say that if you're on this side of it, you got to speak a little louder. But no, thank you. You're very kind. I've been very successful, very blessed to have got hooked up with the right people. And I'm going to brag a little bit about my career because I got three gentlemen that I've been associated with. And I think, you know, Joe, you can appreciate this. Donnie can appreciate this because they are either in the Hall of Fame, NASCAR Hall of Fame, or they're getting ready to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. I'll talk about Carl Owner Jr. Johnson, who actually hired me to work on the crew, with Cale Yarborough, who's going to be inducted this January into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and my old buddy D.W. going in at the same time. And the coolest thing is, Darrell called me probably 3 weeks ago and said, hey, man, I want you to induct me into the Hall of Fame. So I get a chance to talk about one of my heroes and induct him into the Hall of Fame. And we're good friends, and you know, it's really cool. Luke Perry was telling me a quick story. You know, Luke lives over there just outside of Tennessee, outside of Nashville. He actually bought a car from Darrell Waltrip. DW's got a car lot, so he went and bought him a car. Went and bought a car from him. Darrell's a used car man.
Is that like, I wonder if that's like buying a horse from Joe.
It might burn a little oil every now and then.
A little oil, yeah. Jeff, I want you to talk quickly because I said you've been a fan of rodeo. This guy was a high school All-American football player, cornerback, so he's an athlete. Likes to team rope, does a little bulldogging as well, although I don't think I'd tell anybody.
He's a bowling teacher.
He's a bowling teacher.
I had this guy bowling. I had him. Actually, he finally entered the bowling deal today. He didn't like what I made him do, but...
you made him use one hand, didn't you?
No, I made him...
It's worse than that. I mean...
No. They've actually got a rack, you know, for the kids that you put the ball on and just kind of like let it roll down. My man.
I'm the new assisted living bowler.
Oh, me. Yeah, Dan, I have been a rodeo fan for a long time.
Talk about the connection between that, the excitement of NASCAR and the excitement of rodeo.
It's all about being committed. I mean, I think we talk so much about people who are passionate about their sport. NASCAR people are passionate about their sport. And when I started out as a kid at 12 years old and started racing, all I wanted to do was be like, you know, a Smokey Unick or a Junior Johnson. And I was able to grow up doing that. And I think that's the same thing when you're in love with the sport of rodeo. You latch on to the Donnie Gays and the Joe Beavers, and you want to be like them. And that's the kind of passion we have. And I love that part. I love coming over here because you folks are a special kind of breed. You know, you really care about one another. You cheer for one another. You help one another. And I think that is just so cool because that's the way NASCAR has been and continues to be. You know, whether it's, you know, like the Western Wish that you're doing for kids now. Well, you know, we got Victory Junction Gang Camp that the Petties have been so instrumental in bringing along for kids. So everybody wants to help one another. And the other thing I find interesting about rodeo as well as NASCAR is the hand and eye coordination. You know, you've got to have good hand and eye coordination if you're going to be a good roper. You've got to be able to see things, and you've got to have good feel. If you're going to be a race car driver, you've got to be able to sit up there and feel that race car, just like if you're riding a bull. You've got to feel that bull when he's shifting, changing directions, and you've got to anticipate and you've got to react. So all these things kind of go hand in hand. But I think the biggest compliment to rodeo happened a few years ago. Think about it like this. You folks come here, you got 10 days to finally get a champion. Well, guess what NASCAR did? They finally came up with a formula that allows you to have the final 10 races, we crown our champion. And we came into here to Las Vegas so that we could be kind of close to you, so we kind of show some of the similarities. But I think it's cool that in the 10 days you're here in Las Vegas, 7 world champions will be crowned. And then we have 10 races in NASCAR that we finally have a champion that was crowned, and Friday night we crowned ours.
Well, and another thing that we have in common is whenever y'all moved here to Las Vegas, you know, there's been some racing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I see Dan Stark sitting over here.
He the man.
And he represents Boyd Gaming, and the reason that NASCAR is here, one of the reasons is Boyd Gaming commitment to excellence in all of the sports, and so I think a round of applause is in order for Dan Stark.
I agree. And you know, I'll go a little bit further because people have asked me here recently. I know the NASCAR contract is starting to expire, I think, after this year, whether we come back here with our banquet and, you know, crown our champion here in Las Vegas. And I'll tell anybody, I've been at the old plaza in Daytona Beach where we used to have the awards banquet. I was with the first team that went to New York at the Waldorf Astoria when we gave away the championship up there for many, many years. But coming here, Las Vegas is where we belong. Just like I believe that the PRCA, this should be your home forever and a day. NASCAR needs to be here right with you because Las Vegas is the greatest town that I know of that takes care of all the people, takes care of the champions. I mean, it's a special place. It's a happening town, and that's where we need to be.
Last comment I got to get from you, Jeff. Danica, what's this going to do for you guys?
It's going to create a problem for Donnie Gay. He's finally, this could wind up being bad for me to say this, but I think he's finally got a woman maybe he could kind of see eye to eye to. That's a bad
while he's
joke.
bowling on the kid bowling deal.
Coach, you know, I mean, you just...
No, she's going to be great for the sport because she has the passion. She has the desire to be successful. It's a man's world out there in NASCAR, and I'm just being honest with you. It's not easy, and she has not faltered yet. She's impressed me because I questioned her coming into NASCAR because I thought, well, this is the only way for her to make money. She's coming out of a series that she does pretty well at, an open wheel, you know, any type cars. But since she's gotten to NASCAR, I've seen a huge improvement in her. She continues to improve, and she's committed now to run the full season in the Nationwide car and get a few Sprint Cup Series races under her belt for Tony Stewart, I might add. I think she'll do well, and for all the ladies out there who want to have a favorite in NASCAR, there's your good one.
If she wasn't, because it's just like you said, it's really not her league and her world. If she wasn't really dedicated and focused, she'd have quit a long time ago, wouldn't she?
She would have been run out of there because she'd have been embarrassed, but she keeps making improvements, and that's the only thing you can ever ask.
That's what I like. That's what I like
all
about
it.
it.
You know.
She keeps buckling up and trying, and you know she catches a lot of crap.
Oh,
but
she
she
gets
doesn't weaken, and she keeps coming back, and that's good for any sport, isn't it?
Any sport. I mean, because we all love somebody who has heart. We talked about your young man tonight, you know, that went out there and basically smoked him in the tie down. That inspires me. Because if I want to be a cowboy, I want to be like that young man who's got that kind of heart, that kind of commitment. And I know back home, my daughter's here with me, my wife's here with me, but my son, who's 23 years old, he heads for me, I heel. She trying to do breakaway stuff. We love trying to be cowboys. I mean, we're in North Carolina. We're not good at it, but we have a lot of fun as a family and everything like that.
If she's trying to do breakaway, we're going to be good at it. Send her to me.
There you go.
Careful what you ask for.
Hey, I've
you
seen
go.
it firsthand.
Heather, stand up and say hello to Joe Beaver, your new coach.
There she is right there. Jeff, we thank you
They
so
think
much
that
for coming
Danica
with
keeps
us
coming
this
back,
evening.
girl. We'll do it.
I want to tell you, be sure to check out Jeff with Darrell Waltrip on Fox for the NASCAR coverage. Also Friday nights on the Speed Channel, Trackside Live, and he's a cowboy at heart. Would you give a hand, please, right here to Jeff Hammond.
Thank you very much,
for
gentlemen.
being here, Jeff.
Hey, it's been an honor. It really has,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank y'all.
Aren't you glad
Joe's
you're
trying
here
to sell
tonight?
another horse.
Yeah, he's trying to sell me one, but I think it's got 3 legs.
He just leaks a little oil. That's okay.
Look, he's going over there working on the daughter right now. It's a nice horse. Yeah. Aren't you glad you're here tonight? This is a good night here at National Finals tonight. I am so thrilled that this next gentleman is here.
Me too.
This is my roping teacher, by golly, and he's a great story and a success story. All 3 of these guys, counting our guests, are the most positive thinking guys. Donnie's always got a positive thinking book. And
This guy
man,
really does.
he really does. 2-time world champion healer Walt Woodard is here tonight. Walt.
Come on out here.
Look how good he looks there, huh? How are you, sir?
Walter?
Welcome. Are you glad you're here tonight?
I'm tickled to death.
Yeah, we are tickled to death to have you here. This is the greatest story because Walt is, not arguably, he is the best team roping teacher in the world and has taught, do you even have a number? Marketing? Thousands of people all over the world how to do it. But the old story is those that can't do it teach. Walt can do it. And he won his first world championship in 81.
81.
1981.
That was a good year.
Yeah, you won. Yeah.
It was a good year in the junior rodeos. And I ain't no kid.
You know, it's funny that he says that. I was on a way to the trade shows today. I was looking through a magazine, and the 29 other guys that's in the team roping, 5 of them were born when I went to the NFR the first time. 24 of them was not alive. How about that?
Well, they just couldn't appreciate your ability.
Don't be looking at me.
Then, Walt, there's a long break between your next world championship. And you come here and you're determined and you get that done. And then you go back and you're teaching. This is the question I want to ask you. When during that did you decide, you know what? And I want to say, too, his son Travis, you took that break as a father to bring him along and to do this. And then when he was out on his own, why did you decide to come back one more time? Too many students like me that just drove you nuts, or?
Well, the story's been told before, but a guy that I didn't know came up to me and he said that I should go send an apology letter to everyone that I've ever taught because my style was so outdated. I mean, first of all, who says that to someone? And why would it bother me? Why would a guy like that, why would it bother me? And I got to thinking about it, and the reason that it bothered me a little bit is maybe there was some truth in that. Maybe I thought, you know, am I a legend in my own mind? Am I walking around out here teaching people an outdated style?
It's not all bad.
Well, I know, but that's kind of what I was thinking about, you know. So I decided to see if a 50-year-old guy could, you know, come back and make the national finals. That was my thinking. And my son also, he had some influence in it because he told me, he says, you know, you're working all the time. He says, what do you think I'm going to do with the money that you've made after you die? And I said, well, he said, I'm not going to build a wing on the hospital. I'm going to go to Florida and lay in warm water and smoke a cigar. That's what I'm going to do. So he said, if you like to rope, I think you should come back and rope again. So anyway, I just came back to see if I could make the NFR. That's why I came back. And then...
That was the first year.
That was the
That
first
was the
year.
first year.
That was in 06.
But
That
you
was-
got close, and you
I
got
won,
a taste of it.
I won second
Yes.
that year. Al Bach beat me. Well, I won second. So I got to thinking, well, if I can beat 5,000 guys, surely I can beat one more guy. So I rodeoed in 07, and then that turned out great.
But this time, why did you decide now to come back again and do it?
You know, they say actors want to be singers and singers want to be actors. No one wants to do what they do. And, you know, when I'm teaching, you know, people come up to you and say, "Guy, you rope so good, you rope so good." But you're talking to a guy that's just a beginner, you know. So how would he know? How would he know how good you are?
Yeah.
I mean, he only
Yep.
knows that, you know, He only knows that you're better than him. You know, I teach people how to head and heel, and, you know, my heeling is a lot better than my heading. And I had a guy tell me one time, he says, you don't head very good. And I said, but I head better than you do. That's all I got to do.
Exactly
As
right.
long as I'm better than you.
Well, the other thing that I want to point out, he and Jake Barnes are kind of like the Mick Jagger and Keith Richard of roping. I mean, they've just been there and done this thing. And how did that? And you may have told the story, but I don't know. Did Jake call you?
Yeah, he called me. He called me and he asked me if I would like to go to Reno and the BFI and, you know, some rodeos like that. And we'd rodeo through Cheyenne. And I said, well, I don't get done with my schools until the second weekend of June. And I said, yeah, I'll do that. But I said, at the end of Cheyenne, I'm coming home. Unless, I said, we just win everything.
The unless came about.
We won everything.
Winning everything.
Darn the luck.
I want to quickly show Walt at work here. I want to put up round number 1 first, and it's going to be right in front
tonight,
of you.
right?
No, this is round number
No, this
1
is a
right
good one.
here.
Okay, look, let me show you what the difference is. See that? In 1981, he didn't ride high and take that shot. You didn't have to, did you, Walt?
No. The steers were different. The guys roped different. You know, these guys are so fast. I mean, they're just fantastic. So, you know, it's all about position. It's all about distance and riding position on the steers.
What I like, Walt, and I've been watching every night in there, people are nervous in the box, they're moving around, and when you look at Walt, emotion, you're looking at Jake, quiet, your horse is quiet, just, I guess that's the years and years of experience.
Well, we're trying not to nod off, you know. I mean, at this age, we're trying to stay awake.
It ain't like you're nodding your head on a bull either.
No.
It's healing. You know, I'm gonna do my job if he does his.
Yeah, how hard can this be?
Well, let me tell you how hard it can be. How many? And I'm gonna say tonight, if you got to watch everybody, I saw 4 youngsters that are the young guns that are the winning. They're winning everything. They're the picks and all that. But what Walt just said, it's about position, separation, delivery. All 3 of them were standing on top of the steer, trying to throw under their horse, and all 3 of them, and one of them roped the leg, 3 of them missed. See, that's the difference in healing. You can take all the fast, all the young, all the craving to win, and you can throw it all out the window if you got a seasoned veteran that knows when to throw fast and when to catch.
I'm glad you made a good run in that first go-round, because Joe said, other than a couple, there were some really stupid throws. That's what he said.
Am I wrong?
You know, you're right.
And if you think I tell it like it is, you ought to hear him.
Thank God I wasn't in the stupid category that night, so I did good that night.
You know what I heard him say one time? This is my favorite line off of Walt Woodard, because I'm friendly competitive, okay? I don't like to, it's not that I hate to lose, I just don't like it when I don't win, okay? And I heard Walt say one time that his wife pulls for everybody besides him to win or place. He don't pull for anybody but him. He said, I don't want nobody to win if I don't win.
That's right, that's
That's
exactly
the
right.
attitude you got to have, because if you don't, 320 days a year out there on the road, and you're going against the same, these 15 guys, what people don't understand, these 14 other teams, Walt, and another 25, are the ones you have to beat 5 days a week to get here, isn't it?
Day in and day out, same guys.
Yep.
What I want to do is stay right here, Walt. I want to bring out 2 other gentlemen here that will add to this story and add to this conversation. To me, they make the National Finals rodeo. 16-time announcer Boyd Polhamus, 24-time Bob Tallman are both with us here this evening. Gentlemen, come on out here and join this elderly group of people, will you?
Hey, now, here's somebody that can add to the 1981 season.
Hi, kid. I wanted you, did Greg tell you I wanted you to keep him here?
I wanted you to be here with him.
I got to watch his first one, and I got to watch his second one, and gonna get to watch another one probably. But I want to say one thing, about Walt Woodard and his brother Dale, who's not here with us tonight. Well, he's here with us, but I've watched them since they were kids, and I can remember I lived in California when we were all kids together. We all raised our families together. And I've said it for thousands of runs watching him, what a great teacher he is. I didn't coin the phrase, but he is. But there's something else that you learn when you learn something from Walter. And you learn a lifestyle, you learn the calmness. And what you were just talking about a minute ago, knowing when to be rowdy, knowing when to be quiet. And I have watched him teach, and I've watched him rope.
A lot.
40 years.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, a long time. And they will, if they'll learn from Walt, his manner, and it's hard to tell a kid, watch me, emulate me, without sounding like you're pompous. But if you have young people, before he quits teaching, you need to send them. But teach them, go to the first school, don't even let them have a rope. Send them and watch his manner. Watch how he cinches his horse. Watch how he gets on his horse. Then watch what he does. He don't hot dog around with other people. He rides off by himself. He's collecting his thoughts. Then watch him rope. Watch how he unsaddles his horse.
I got 4. What do you charge for school?
Depends on who it is.
Okay. Well, look, because I'm gonna try to get you to give some free lessons out here, just with some questions I'm gonna ask.
Sure.
Okay. First of all, the first question was how much do you charge?
So, I have all kinds of different
Okay.
prices. It
All right.
depends.
Perfect.
It's
Second
getting higher for you.
Second question. Second question. You win Cheyenne with Jake, okay, and that's a big arena, right? Big score. And then here, you're in this little quick pen where you better get the heels roped before Jake gets to the wall, or he might not be able to turn and face.
Right.
So tell me what the difference is. Joe talked about positioning and everything else. How do you approach it differently?
Well, that's what makes the World Championship so cool to win, so difficult to win, because you can't have one kind of, like I grew up in California. I grew up in California, big arenas, outdoor, hard running steers. And when I turned pro, I went to Denver, Colorado, first time I'd ever seen an arena that small. I thought they stored hay in an arena like that. It is so difficult to learn how to rope in all those different venues. It's really difficult.
Second question with regard to the steers that are here this year. They're natives, and so the horns are a little bit smaller. And how, because I know you don't just teach heeling, you teach heading too. You teach how to team rope.
Right.
So how are the horns on these cattle affecting the somewhat bumpy team roping we've seen for the first 3 rounds?
Well, that's the deal. Like Clay Tran tonight got a hundo over the horn, and steer's got little horns and checks off, and he gets in trouble. So those guys are trying to reach a long ways, and it's tough on them, So that's one of the things about team roping that's difficult. The fans out there watching the team roping, they only see kind of a sloppy team roping, and it's hard to say, well, there was 37 steers in there that they were fine because the horns weren't long enough.
I said that every night on TV.
That's so it's making the event look a little bit bad. Yeah.
Head loops are going on, coming off, and I wanted you to address that. The second one that I want to point I want to make is this is something I try to tell some of the younger ones that he was talking about. The oldest standing record at the National Finals Rodeo, okay? Not a money record, because money goes up every year. But the longest standing record is the team roping average, okay? It's by a guy by the name of Jake Barnes and Clay O'Brien Cooper, okay? 59-1. Okay, now that's 5-9 a run. That's 5-9. Now, how many times throughout the course of this week is 5-9 going to win a pretty decent 3rd through 5th place check and a $45,000 one at the end? So my question to you is, and with the advent of going back to tee and speed and all these guys that are chunking in a swing and a half, tie blasting game a year ago, do you think coming into here that you maybe just kind of pushing the clutch a little bit and just go rope and win the average?
No.
How come?
Well, just because disaster happens. It really does. If you try to be conservative early on in this thing, and you get about round 6 or 7, and you're really cruising along, steer checks off and waves it off, and you're out. Or you miss one, and you're out. It's just so difficult. So you better play each card, like I heard Donnie say, ride one bull at a time. Joe says it all the time, rope one calf at a time, one night at a time.
Let the average take care of itself.
Yeah, and then maybe go around 8, then, well, you know what, I'm going to slow down and just catch the last 2. But early on, you need to go at them.
That's
crazy.
How much do I owe you?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
That old adage hadn't changed in 50 years. And Al Hooper was the first world champion I ever met. And he went in 1954.
I watered Al Hooper's lawn when I was a kid. I rode my bicycle to his house, and I watered his lawn while he rodeoed, and he was gone. And I took such pride in it because I thought if I don't water the champ's lawn, it will die when he's gone. And he took his buckle off and he let me hold it.
I got to hold it too.
I want to say this because I'm glad to hear you say that, Walt, because this is one thing that I love about Walt with little kids. And I've seen him do it. He came up to Red Lodge with me and to Cody with me. But when he'll take off that buckle and call over a little kid.
But Al Hooper did it for me.
I'm glad to hear that. That's where it came from.
I held it.
Yes.
And I told him, I said, it's heavy. He said, because it's gold. Huh? I've never felt a golden buckle.
Yep.
I only felt silver ones.
And I've seen Walt do that with young people and their eyes getting
That's
big,
pretty-
as I'm sure yours did as
cool.
well.
I've heard Walt and I've heard Joe say, position, separation, and all of that. But all of that is from here down, and winning is from here up. And this is what I think is the most important and the best asset for Walt Woodard. And I know that I worked on it, and watching him, and Gary LeFew, he's upstairs at the Buck and Ball. Positive thinking, it basically changed my life. I was so worried that I wouldn't be good enough to get a nod of satisfaction from my daddy or Jim Shoulders. I was terrified that I'd actually have to go back home, because I couldn't make it riding bulls. I didn't know when I left school whether or not I could make it or not. My dad, I had $400 in a car, and he said, if you get sick or if you get hurt, you call me and I'll come get you. Otherwise, get a job. So
Listen.
I began to with LeFew, read positive thinking books, and they were hard to find. Now they're not. You can go to do a lot of self-help research. You got to be careful with some of that stuff. But give me your assessment on how much better you are right now than you were in 1981 and 1980 as because when you're winning and you've done all of this from here down, and I mean, you've been roping and you've been riding and
Got it down.
Got it down. What's the difference? I mean, do you agree, disagree?
Absolutely. Well, I was like you. I won when I was a junior, and I was in high school, and I was the high school state champ, and turned down a full ride scholarship to San Luis Obispo, and I got into pros and could not win. I just could not win for the first couple of years, and I was traveling with some guys, and they were 28, 30 years old, been in there for a long time, couldn't win anything, and I told them, I said, we have the same ability as these other guys, but I said, you know what I figured out? And there was 3 of them, and they said, what's that? I said, these winners have got a better attitude. You know what they said? Of course they do, they win. That makes them happy. I said, if we won, we would be happy too. I said, it don't work that way.
You're not born with a good attitude.
Right.
You are not born with a good attitude.
I said, I think we've got to get the attitude before we win. And so I just became an actor. That's all I did. I just watched guys that won, and I acted like they did.
I read Psycho Cybernetics because I heard that Larry Mahan did.
Gary LeFew.
It's the most boring book you have ever put in your hand.
It will confuse you. Remember when LeFew used to go to the mountains?
Yeah. I wouldn't go with him either. I wouldn't go with him
Psycho,
either.
no cybernetics. Well, I thought it was till I went to mountains with him one time. How old are you?
56.
Okay.
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
Tomorrow.
No, last week.
Last week
yeah.
he turned 50.
But that makes him, of all 119 guys here, he is the senior member of every contestant in the National Finals Rodeos.
And he's got 2 gold buckles, and there's a whole bunch of them that's supposed to rope faster, ride better horses, and got longer hair that ain't got one.
Hey, HP changed it years and years ago. He changed it. There's a lot of cool people, and Jack Dane's sitting right over there. There's a man that's got 60 years at Innisfail as a rodeo announcer, as a producer of a rodeo, runs the greatest sale barn in the entire country of Canada. But what y'all don't understand, and I'm sitting here, I got goosebumps, okay? I've watched Walt Woodard since he was a teenager, and I was just a hair older, 8 years older. You need to understand something. Y'all come in here every night to hear something, learn something, meet somebody, get a new opinion about what you're doing. You don't have a clue what it's like to sit on this stage with this group of people and these 2 young pups right here. And
don't point at me.
No, these 2 young pups right here. What it's like to sit on this stage and think back and remember back. And when you're telling them stories, and I remember the $400. There's a man in Texas, his name is Neil Gay, and I I went there in 1973 to go to work for Neil Gay. And since that time, I don't know, nearly 40 years ago, the greatest thing that I have in my favor is to never fail Donnie's dad. And I've known Donnie and Pete Gay since 1973. I remember the night you took me to meet your wife at Mansfield, Texas, and said, "What do you think about her?" I said, "She's a keeper. He still got her." And that was, you know, it's getting close to those 30 and 35 years ago.
35, yeah.
Yeah.
You
just don't know what it's like to have known this man, his family, have watched him, his brother, his parents, to know where he came from. And I'm going to tell you something where he came from. He didn't come from any fancy beginnings. There was them old tarp top trailers with single axles. And when you went and made your own ropes in those days, or you borrowed one, and you knew a guy like Al Hooper, who was the 1954 world champion team roper. I held that buckle. You never forget those kind of things. So when you come here to see this show, whether Boyd and I are here or don't get here, and you get to meet people like this, take this home with you, because this is a golden opportunity for memories, for touching. And he ain't in a big hurry. He'll come shake your hand. I promise you. That's Walt Woodard, too. That's the man. I know more about the man, heck with the gold and all the rest of it. This is a special person.
Thank you.
That's well said.
Yep, I agree with that.
You know, one thing I'd like to say is, like, you know, Donnie talks about his dad, and there's several people in this room I looked at here tonight, and, you know, you're my age or older than, and we were raised by a different generation of people, you know, and I mean, that made me mentally strong. My dad, when I won the first world championship, my dad was in Oklahoma City, and he told me that night, he said, "It took you a hell of a lot longer to win this," and I thought it was going to. I think that meant, "Way to go, son, I'm proud of you." I think that's what it meant. But I mean, that's what made me.
I know the feeling. I got bucked off at Mesquite one time, and my daddy said, he said, "You're the world champion. It must be easy."
Yeah, my dad said I'd never be able to outrun him, because all I'll ever have to do is say, "Come here." Yeah. So it's and it is a different generation. Timeout to me was one of the three things you got if you had a football team. There were no timeouts.
And my dad didn't get that either.
Or if you woke up, you from a timeout because you got hit.
Getting drop kicked like a football when my dad picked me up by the head and kicked me in the ass. That was, yeah. Field goal time, that's it. Y'all do me a favor, for those of you that understand prayer, and for those of you that don't learn to understand it, say a prayer for the man he's talking about and his daddy, because he's having some hell in his life and lost part of his foot, and he's a big old boy. And I'll tell you about Boyd Polhamus. He never will say, he won't holler calf rope, and he won't holler uncle, and he's the hardest man in the world that you'd ever learn to love. But once you learn to love him, you'd understand it. But y'all say a prayer for him tonight.
Okay. Could I ask all of you to give a hand to everybody on this stage here this evening? And everybody just stay right there, if you will, and talk. We are out of time here this evening. It's an honor to share the stage with these guys. We have prizes to give away. Here are our rules quickly for the prizes they're going to give away. You must be present to win the prizes that we give away, one per person. So if you've got 10 entries in there and you win something, just one prize. You need to come forward when we announce those, and we have great things. We have a couple of gift certificates for the Boot Barn, and Donnie Gay is putting on his arm stretchers right now. Donnie, let's give the first one away. Who do you have?
All right, Teresa Palmer Visser. All right, come on.
Right down front here. Outstanding. Come right here. Joe's got
good draw.
one.
First rattle out.
Another Boot Barn gift card right there. Joe.
Marilyn Brown.
Marilyn, are you here? Right over here. Well, she's a lot shorter than I remember. Yeah, come on up here, Marilyn. What does it say, Joe?
Ouch.
Or get this one, yeah. All right, we have 2 Wrangler gift cards.
Yeah, poke me in the eye.
2 Wrangler gift cards. All right, who's this first one?
All right, Susan Mackert.
Susan,
are you here? Susan Mackert.
We go
from
quickly.
Henderson, Nevada.
Going once, going twice.
Another drawing.
Read it off there, Donnie.
All right, Sandy.
From Newkirk, Oklahoma.
Sandy.
Eagle King. Oh, here is she coming?
Sandy.
How bad
you know
did we
you're
butcher
going to
that?
have to
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we butchered this really bad.
Another
That's all
card
right.
there. Another Wrangler card, Joe.
Okay, one more right here for Kelly Barr.
Hey!
Yeah.
Coming
Kelly
right back
Barr,
over
come
here.
on.
Now we have Justin Boots has always been such a great supporter of ours. We have a couple of certificates for Justin Boots. Donnie, let's get the first one from you.
Dang it. Connie from Grass Range, Montana. Connie, you got to know which one I'm talking about. Grass Range, Montana, Connie. I'm not even going to attempt
Is it
this.
Holgren?
Somebody bumped into her when she went to do the last name.
Is she here?
Connie?
No, let's do another one. Oh, nope. They're saying yes, she's back there. Come on up and tell us your name. That'll be good. Yeah, come bring her right on up. We've got another gift certificate. Joe, this is for Justin Boots as well. Who's that?
J.V. Perrin.
J.V. Perrin. Coming
I'm
right
already-
here.
He's coming.
Right
You
there.
got it. You got a
Outstanding.
winner. What we got next here?
We have a couple of custom hat. Oh, J.W. Brooks custom hat gift certificates,
Who got
Donnie. They're coming. This one is for this. So, Donnie, this is for this first for Jay. Oh, that's all right. That's for the Justin. Okay, thank you
What's
very
your
much.
last name?
I told you. That's good.
Allgrass? Okay.
Okay, Donnie, let's do this first one. Do you have
Okay,
some?
we've got J.W. Brooks custom hat, $250 off of a 100X, or $150 off of a 20X cowboy hat. Dan, and the winner would be?
The winner is Jason Miller from Panguitch, Utah.
Jason, you here?
We're looking out there quickly.
Pretty good hat you're missing. Come on, Jason, are you here? Draw another.
Okay, it is.
If this was Bobby Welch getting on a bull, he didn't get a prize.
This is a Texan, Donnie. Herbert.
Herbert Smart, Tomball, Texas. Herbert, come on down.
He's coming.
All right. Got
Joe,
the
we've
hat.
got one
We got
more.
one more of those for Judy Stevenson. Arizona. Show
Here
low.
comes Judy right
Here
here.
comes Judy right over there. Outstanding. All right. Now we have a CD package and
Come
book.
right around here.
This is Heroes of the Stage and Famous Left Flynn's CD and book package. Joe, read this up for me, will you? This is Lisa Johnson. Lisa, are you here? Outstanding. Come on up here. This is for you. We also have next, this is for Lisa, if you'll give that to her. We have a Montana Silversmith's buckle. Let me hold it up here to the camera. Well, Joe, do you have the winner for this?
Judy Clossy. Yeah.
Judy, come on up
That's
here.
Wisconsin.
From
The
Wisconsin.
fella cheesehead.
Cheese lady.
All right, we come on up here and let's. This buckle is for you. And then Donnie, we have
Hey.
one of our Gold Coast limited edition.
We need to
bags.
talk to her. She's known our friend back here, Boyd, since he was 5.
Is that right? Come
I need
on.
to talk to you later.
She brings me cheese every year, but yeah, that's the lady. Brings all that good curd. That's curd with a C.
Curd, yeah. Donnie, we've got a vest here.
We have
A Gold
our
Coast
Gold
vest.
Coast vest. And
I'm on a diet.
how about Diana Adams? Diana, are you here?
My buckle for the first time in 30 years.
Diana Adams.
Yep.
Oh,
coming
here
right
she
over
comes.
here.
All right.
Get that vest.
He's a great vest.
Donnie, hold that vest right beside Joe here. That bag. Both of these. The vest has been won there, and now Joe has one of these luggage bags that are just outstanding. This is Susan Mackert from Henderson, Nevada. Are you here? Susan?
She's not
Going
here. 'Cause
once, going
she had
twice?
2 in there. She could have made a haul. Connie Glass.
from Idaho. Connie, are you here tonight?
Connie, are you here? Connie Glass?
Yep, coming right there.
All right.
That's
It's
great luggage
piece
bag
of
is
luggage
for
right
you.
here.
Okay, now the last thing we have, Boyd, hold that right up to the camera as well. This Fender guitar has been signed by George Strait. And we just have the
Just
one
got
of
the
those.
signature. We don't have George, but we got
got-
George's band, the Ace and Hole band, right upstairs. So
All right, this This guitar is going to Anthony Clark from Yarrington, Nevada. Right over there.
Anthony, all right.
Give him a hand. Outstanding.
We got a box for the
Even
guitar.
has a designer case
Come
right there.
here.
Yeah. Folks, we want to tell you, if you haven't been upstairs yet to the Buck and Ball, make sure that you do that. Gary LeFew is up there, and they will be going. The Ace in the Hole Band is playing music up there. We thank you for being here tonight for National Finals tonight. Hope you had a great night with us. A special thanks to all our crew, Travis and everybody here. We appreciate all the help, Joe and Donnie.
His wife says he's going to wind up with an Okie guitar player, and he wins the guitar.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so...
Donnie, you're going to be down here
night.
signing pictures, right?
Yes.
Donnie and Joe Beaver will be down here autographing pictures. If anybody would like one of those, you can come get those as well. Walt Woodard, thank you for being here, sir. We appreciate it very much. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you for watching and attending the show. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of National Finals tonight at the Gold Coast, where all the Cowboys go after the rodeo. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. This has been a presentation of Boyd Gaming. The fun isn't over yet. We invite you to head upstairs for Gary LeFew's legendary Buck and Ball. Live music with members of George Strait's Ace in the Hole Band. Dancing, beer and drink specials. A mechanical bull, and best of all, no cover charge. We're gonna party till the cows come home at the Buck and Ball.